So a little over 10 years ago, I was going through a professional crisis. And one things that happened was it was before real estate. And I remember watching a podcast over 15 years ago, Lewis House School of Greatness podcast. Shout out to them. And he said, hey, if I ever found myself in a jam or I'm really low, I would hire a coach. And so that's exactly what I did. I hired a life coach. I spent, several $100s on a life coach. And this person, shout out to the life coach. She was super sensitive, really challenged a lot of my limiting beliefs, and literally said to me, you're a person of faith. Milton, I want to encourage you to do a couple of things. I want you to pray and I want you to plan. And I don't want you to panic. Now, she didn't say don't want you to panic, but I'm adding that in there because this time, what's going on right now in the markets and the dominoes that are getting ready to fall are speaking to several things. The goal is for you to not panic, but to plan. This is Milton Ali. Welcome to the Investor Tribe podcast. We talked about several dominoes that's getting ready to drop, okay? And I'm not going to rehash the war. I'm not going to talk about all these different dynamics with the issues that are going on in the Middle East. There's other channels that you can go to for that. What I am going to discuss with you is how this does affect your wallet at this very point in time. One of the things that we're dealing with is the first domino, which is basically the energy tax. And what do I mean by that? Energy prices and gas and diesel prices have gone up substantially over the last few weeks. Literally, we're talking anywhere from 300 million to a half billion per day that Americans is spending, okay? And this is the immediate tax, and I'm not going to say threat to your existence. I'm going to say that it's just really, most people look at this as, okay, gas is up 50, 60, 70, cent on, from where it was. National average is somewhere anywhere from about 380 to 420 right now. And in some places it's higher, some places it's a little bit less. But by and large, it is going up. And right now, most Americans look at it as a mild inconvenience. They're saying to themselves, you know what? This is just something that we have to contend with. And hopefully this thing will be over. And things can go back to what we think is normal. Here's the thing. It's going to take a while to navigate all of these issues, and I'm going to talk about the second domino right now. The second domino that's in rapid succession from the first one. The first one is just literally gas and diesel prices. The second one is going to begin with perishables. I want you to think about how all of what we eat and what we consume every day requires diesel. We just talked about how diesel's at around $5 a gallon. And this is going to be the challenge. Your food costs are going to go up within the next 30 to 60 days if you're not already seeing it. Your food cost is going to go up because the transportation costs surrounding your food is going to be a lot more expensive, and that is right now. Now, this kind of goes right into the third domino that's getting ready to fall. And we're thinking about this around the summertime. What you're getting ready to see is fertilizer. And I said it, right? Fertilizer is what is used to grow the food. Fertilizer comes from petrol, products. And I don't know the full science behind all of that. But what I do know is that there is going to be some challenges with fertilizer. And literally, that can also drive up your grocery costs, your cost of protein, whether you're buying meat, whether you're buying chicken, no matter what you're buying, that fertilizer grows the food that feeds the protein that we consume. And it might make 2024, it may make the inflation shocks of 2024 just pale in comparison to what's getting ready to go down this summer. And so now we covered 3 dominoes so far. We're getting ready to get into domino number 4. So domino number 4 is almost like domino number 1, right? So we had, so my wife and I, we just recently went to Nashville. We're in the Louisville area, and we went to Nashville to go see family, and we noticed the expensive gas that was on the road as we were going down 65. We also had noticed that, man, gas was higher even in some of that whole 65 thoroughfare. The gas was just higher. I was trying to find and finagle a way to get some points so that I can save a few dollars here and there on some of the gas. But one of the things that we were considering was, man, we want to see our family in Texas. Well, guess what? Your airfare is getting ready to go up in the third quarter. Airlines negotiate these airline prices well in advance, and those renegotiations are coming up. So that's going to mean that you're literally going to see more expensive airfare, and it's going to cause a lot of us to rethink where we actually travel. One of the things, I was talking with one of my buddies, and we're like, you know what, man, we're going to plan a trip and we're going to drive. We're going to drive because trying to fly to certain areas, especially areas that I can drive to within the same time. My wife had booked the flight, and literally it was going to take the flight longer to get back through layover and all of that. It was going to take longer for the flight to get to her destination than it would to drive to that same destination. So what is this creating? We're literally creating no-fly zones right now, and that's going to take place somewhere over the summer and going into the third quarter. Now, the 5th domino that's getting ready to drop is really going to be interesting, right? Right now, to cut to the chase, I don't know about whether interest rates are going to receive a cut. The president has nominated an individual, and this individual is definitely wanting to cut interest rates. We're not sure that the Fed are going to cut interest rates going into the second and third quarter, just due to not wanting more inflation in the mix and just wanting to stabilize, because the Fed has a dual mandate. That dual mandate is to keep unemployment lower and to make sure that, rates are stabilized and the money supply is all that. And they have a particular job that they have to do. We just know that it's going to come down to what are they going to do over the summer. And right now, we don't see rates coming down. What does this mean for you? So what we're encouraging, because this first part of the video, what we are encouraging right now is to not use don't confuse your want money with your need money. And right now, it is definitely time to stock up on your emergency fund now. Use your emergency fund now. Here's another thing that we are doing personally. We're looking at our emergency fund. We're looking at moving some things around. If you have not gotten insurance reevaluated, I would do that. If you haven't looked at your cell phone bill and get that reevaluated, do that. If you haven't thought about your internet and how to reevaluate your internet, please do that. Now is the time to really go over your own personal finances to see where you can actually save money. And we have been doing this recently. We are also paying down some debt to get ready for what we're doing. Now, I'll share with you something else that we're up to. And this is something that's very interesting and just kind of, it's a side note, and you probably should go to another channel to kind of talk this through. But we're actually getting ready to buy a quarter or half a cow. We have a deep freeze in our garage. We also have, we got freezer space. We have 2 refrigerators, and we are going to buy probably a quarter to maybe a third of a cow. And what that does is we lock in today's prices so that when things go up over the summer, we already have that locked in. And if you can, see if you can go to a butcher. If you're in area, we're in an area where some butchers are not that far away and they can provide these different, we have access to these services. We have done this before. We've done this a long time ago. We have done this before. However, you can do that. Now, we've also been experimenting with growing some of our own vegetables lately. And my daughter loves tomatoes, okay? And so, and she loves potatoes. And so we're going to play around with that a little bit to see. And every little bit is going to count. And some of you guys cannot go out, they love going out. We love cooking in, and sometimes we do have to go out and you have to do what you have to do. But I want to encourage you to really tighten up on your emergency fund. Also, if you have in your portfolio, please stop checking it every 10 minutes. That can lower your stress. And I just had to stop looking at my portfolio. I actually did do a little bit of buying recently. And even in the midst of some of the issue, I did not want to do what a lot of other people are doing, which is panic selling, right? The market overall is trying to figure some things out. So what I did is I looked at some things that I think, and I have some micro positions that I'm going to explore even further. However, I definitely want you to think about how you deploy capital. So this is the first one. Do not panic. Now is the time to plan. And this is Milton Ali. You can catch us on the Investor Tribe podcast. And you can go to invtribe.com, sign up, become a member today. You can reach us on social media, and you can like and subscribe and comment. What ways are you actually preparing for what's happening, and what are some ways that you can maybe look at, identify, and grow your portfolio at this time? Our next video is going to get right into that. Skip the guesswork, join the tribe.